Today we're going to start our Brazilian favelas, and these are going to be basically blocks of colored paper with roofs, and then we'll add windows and doors and all that and paint next time. But today we're just going to assemble the actual buildings. So this is what one looks like. This is in Rio de Janeiro, and so these are the favelas here. So there are lots of little houses and buildings where people live. So that's a lot of people living in that little space. Okay, so this is what you'll find in an area in like larger cities where people live. So we're going to create our own favela today. And the first thing is you're going to get a piece of paper. So I'll have a couple different shades of like a blue color for the sky. And then you're going to take this and write your name and K dash and your teacher's first initial. Okay. Then you're going to turn it over. So I have tons of these little pieces, and there's rectangles. Some are bigger, some are smaller. There's all sorts of colors. So you can kind of see what you like. You can repeat colors. You're not just stuck to using the same colors, or you can create a pattern, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna start off with my first building. So I want my first one to be the highest, and this is in the background, okay? So I don't want it to go all the way to the top here, but I want it to be somewhere here, middle-ish, okay? Then we're gonna take our glue. And we've been using glue for a while, and I'm still noticing some people just using gobs and gobs of glue. So if I dip the glue in there, I'm gonna let it dribble. And I just need a couple strips, just enough that it's going to stay on. So I'm gonna place it right there and hold it down. Notice that I placed my glue stick right here off to the side. And I can go to another one. Just a little bit of glue, not a lot. And I'm going to overlap that one, okay? So that one's gonna go there. So then maybe I'll go here. I pretty much wiped it off the last time. So I'm gonna grab just one little strip here. So I want you to notice, let's see, make that a little bit higher. So I don't have necessarily them equal, but notice I left a space right here, okay? You don't wanna have them built up too much, or you might not have room for something else, okay? So let me grab another color. Let me use this peach color. Put just a strip of glue. And this one I'm gonna kind of overlap that. One thing I don't wanna do is see how if I left that gap here, that would show the sky. I'm not gonna see any sky because a true favela, you're not gonna see any sky. It's so many different buildings on there. So then I'll get to another one. So maybe I'll go and just put a little bit of glue on there. And I'm gonna have this one kind of, yeah, I'm actually gonna have this one going off the page there. I'm gonna use another yellow. I like that bright yellow, it's pretty. So I'm repeating that color. So I wanna make sure I don't leave a gap there. So I'm gonna put this one here. And basically you're gonna go all the way to the very bottom. So let me grab another one of these. And this takes some time. I'll leave a little gap right there, okay? And I can go into another one. Just enough glue that it's gonna stay. Remember, do that. So I'm getting some nice heights. Now I'm getting towards the bottom here. So a couple things I want you to notice. I have to get to the bottom. So this piece right here, I like it, but it's not gonna reach the bottom. So let me try another one. So this one, I want to cover up that much. Yep, that would work, but I'm not a fan of that green next to the green. So I may put this one over in another area. Let me see. Yep, that red one will work. So then I'm gonna go here, put some glue on. And I don't have to go left to right. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm going from top to bottom. Then maybe I like that green, but I don't need a big one here. Let's see, maybe I'll put this one there. Oh, that didn't do anything. So let me give a little more glue. Overlapping that. Now I was a big fan, I love this violet, so I'm gonna put that right down here. So I might have to cut some bigger pieces for you guys because this is taking a little longer than I had anticipated. But I'm liking what's happening. So let's see, I'm going to put this one here. Okay, so I'm going to overlap, making sure I go to the bottom here. I've got a little space here. So a couple things I can do. I could have a building here, but see, it went over the edge there, which is fine. But I could, that actually will fit there too. So I don't have to go over the edge. Okay, but if you did, then that would be no big deal because we can always trim it. Okay, so I need another building right here. So I'm going to try to find a smaller, narrower piece. That's going to work. And then put that one down there. So I'm overlapping. I have my sky here, and I went all the way to the bottom. Okay, it's okay to have some blue space here, even bigger than that. Okay, if this is as far as you get today, great. Some of you will finish up the buildings and we'll be ready for the roof. So I'll have different pieces. So still rectangles, but you'll notice they're longer and narrower. So with mine, these are where the rooftops will be. And these can be also windows. So one thing I did not grab, which I should have, is a pair of scissors. I'm going to have scissors because I'm going to be doing some trimming of the paper. So first of all, if I want to use this piece for the roof on this one, I like that it's overlapped here, and I want it to overlap there. So I could take a pencil and mark it or just kind of eyeball it and cut it. Now this is a piece I can use somewhere else. So I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to wad it up. I'm going to put a strip of glue on there, and I'm going to overlap. Okay? So then I can get to maybe another color here. Black. Now mine's a little bit, there we go. But if mine's too thick, I could take my scissors and cut them down the middle. And sometimes it's easier to put a little glue on the paper first and then this piece on there, okay? And then I can go to another one. So here, this one's about the same size. That's about the same size, but this one, it's a little bit, and I think it's actually easier to do this. Then I don't get any glue on my table. And if I get a little glue on my fingers, it totally wipes off. I want to kind of hold those down a little bit more so it lays flatter. And I would do that to all of my buildings. And then you can also take pieces and make windows and doors and things like that. So I can take this and cut out some pieces. Put a little piece here for a window. A little piece there for a window. Okay. And, you know, kind of have fun with it. This is fun creating somebody's home. So this window with the lights on, maybe I'm going to use black in some areas for the windows that the lights are out. And we'll do this to all of the buildings, okay? Having windows, doors, if you want to show those, especially at the bottom here, and then the roof. And if you need to trim them because they're a little bit big, that's fine. And then at the end, we're going to kind of wipe that off and twist this back on, and then you'll have a good start for your favela from Brazil.